Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a good week in trading. I was out of pocket pretty much all week, actually down at the beach, and had a really good time. But did watch the market, and we did have some excitement on Monday with the NVAX announcement of their P3 data, as we were expecting. Pre-market was very exciting, and the rest of the day was very disappointing. The rest of the week was disappointing as far as Novavax goes, and what it did. One of the things I did mention last video, they could sell the news, and that's exactly what they did. They drove it up to, I think it got up to 229.50 or so, something like that. I would have started selling probably around 230, 240, but it didn't get there. I was busy getting out of town anyway, so a little disappointed in that, a little disappointed with how it's gone for the week. But again, the next is going to be the approvals in these different countries, and as well as United States. So that's what we're going to be waiting on. That's supposed to happen before the end of the third quarter, which would be sometime around probably July, August, September, anytime in that time frame. So be watching for that. That's what we're going to be holding for. We are loaded up on that in our cash account. We do have some in the IRAs as well. But we're waiting for that to settle to see how that goes. We'll talk about that some and talk about how that acted this week, and then maybe a game plan going forward. But the week, as far as portfolio goes, was not too bad. Did have a little bit of a drawdown on the IRAs based off of what Novavax did to us, but we had some others that did pretty good. We'll talk about those as well. But overall, was not that bad of a week, except for if you look at the cash account, since it's pretty much loaded on Novavax. That took a good whack. We didn't sell anything, so we haven't lost anything yet, and we probably won't be losing anything in that. I'm not too worried about it. We'll just wait for the next bit of news and be ready to sell if it runs after that news, and I expect it to run, especially with that data. That's the data that I was expecting it to get back to 300 on anyway, and I was really wanting to try to hold out for that data. So it looks like I'm going to have to now, so we'll see. But anyway, let's talk about what happened this week. Let's go ahead and look at our portfolio and see what other ones may have had a little bit of better a week than Novavax. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so here we are at in our portfolio. You'll see the top one there is now just HUT. It used to be HUTMF. That did get moved over to the NASDAQ, so it's got a new ticker, and that's at Hut Mining. And so Hut Mining this week, let's take a look at the charts. Okay, on the 5-day chart. So you see we did have a little drawdown. It did. Bitcoin was up pretty good first part of the week, and then Bitcoin has drawn down. So this one's come down with Bitcoin. But this is the Bitcoin miner. We did add a little bit to this in the IRAs last week. Just cost averaging a little bit, but not this week. That was last week. So, but not much talked about there. Just a little bit of a drawback. We see I started the week at around 422, ended up at 375. But it is over to the NASDAQ now. You'll notice we've got a little bit more volume too. You see that it's at 2.2 million here shares traded today versus the little bit less than a million shares traded average volume. So not sure if that has anything to do with the move over to the NASDAQ. We'll watch that and see if that average starts going up. I like this number better than this number. I like to see anything over a million on anything I'm trading. So just gives you a good opportunity to sell when you get ready to sell. So there you have it. That's got a range of 58 cents all the way to $13. So let's see. Let's take just a good look at that 1 month chart. You see, we've hit our high back here somewhere. So in the 1 month, the 6 months, even higher. So we are going to just hang on to that one. We're down on it a good ways right now. So we'll be hanging on to that one just to take a chance with that one. Tesla. Now this is one of our good ones that we've had that's really done well this week. I believe it's up for the week here. Let's take a look at that 5-day chart. It was not as much up as much as I thought it was. It's I must be thinking about since Wednesday. Okay, so since Wednesday it did pull back, but as far as the week goes, not as good as I thought. Just about even for the week, to tell you the truth. So, but it did have a few days that was down, and then it came back up. So we're glad to see that. I was thinking it had a pretty good week, but evidently, when you're on the beach, you don't track things as close as you normally would. So anyway, that's about an even week for that. Let's take a look at the month and see what it's doing. Yeah, so it's for the month. It has pulled up pretty good, and that might be what my mind's thinking about the month instead of the week. But we've had a pretty good little run there. Back to these, getting close to these highs here. So I like to see that. We are up on this one right now. Both IRAs were, one of them I think we're at 2.5% gain, and the other one about 1.5% gain. So we may be selling that one pretty soon because it is one of our bigger positions. There's a good bit of cash in these two, in the IRAs in this one here. So we may go ahead and cash out on that next week if we can get 3 or 4% out of it. Be a nice little gain on a good position. So MSTR is another one. Now, I'm going to say it had a good week, but I may be wrong. Let's just go ahead and take a look. Let's see. Yeah, it's a nice little steady climb. You can see there. So 574 up to 646. I'll take that in a 5-day period. That's nothing wrong with that. And we've got a good bit of volume on it today compared to average volume. It's really surprising because when I was coming home, I was checking the stocks, and this one had pulled back, and so had Tesla. But by the time I got home and I was able to check again, they both had gone up a pretty good bit. They're right there at the close, and you can see that this volume spike right at the close. So I'm not sure what might have caused that. We'll be checking into that later and see if we can figure out what made it come up like that. You see the large spike in the volume, though, so that's a pretty good size little trade there. So we know that this one is one of our Bitcoin stocks. They buy a lot of Bitcoin. They hold a lot of Bitcoin in their treasury, and so that's what they actually have bought some recently. So this is one that we're holding for that purpose. It's a Bitcoin play without buying Bitcoin in the IRAs. We're buying this instead. You could buy this, and there's a couple of other ones you can buy. Tesla has some Bitcoin as well, but this is the one that really is loaded up with it. So I really like their CEO. He's a character if you hadn't ever watched him, Michael Saylor, and he's got a lot of videos on YouTube. And I like to watch him talk about Bitcoin and what it means and what he thinks, why he's investing in it. It's very interesting if you get a chance to watch that sometimes. Michael Saylor, you'll see him. Okay, US Steel is getting down to the point where we might start nibbling on that if we get out of that Tesla. You can see it's had a rough day today. Take a look at that 5-day chart. It's down from 2784 all the way down to 22. So we are definitely getting in that range. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, the 1 month lows were here, so we're done past those. So let's see where we might go to here. Yeah, so this is a little worrisome here. Yeah, because we can get back down around that 20 range. It could go all the way back down here to these ranges. So I'm not sure why the steel's pulling back like it is, but maybe it's because that infrastructure is not going well as far as last I heard. So, but we like it pulling back because this is one of the ones we like to trade. It's one of our top ones for the year so far. We did get some really good deals way back. You can see down here these levels here, $7. but we traded it up this whole thing. But we traded a few times, but I don't think it's going to get back down here to the $7 range, but it could get back down to the 16.50. He's 22. It's already down there. So yeah, this would be the, if it gets down to that 16 range, we'll definitely be buying around that range if we've got some cash. So that's one we like to keep an eye on. And here's the one that has given us a lot of heartache this week. It was very exciting Monday morning. If you were up and were looking at pre-market, thing was up like crazy in the pre-market. Let me go ahead and see. See here, you can see that Monday it did get all the way up to 216, but it had gotten up. If you look at this week range, 1 week range, let's see here. You don't see it here, but it got up to 229. I think it was 229.50 in pre-market. 229.50 in pre-market, and then let's go ahead and see if we can pull up a 5-day chart and see what we got. That's the 5. This is the 1 month chart. Yeah, we had gotten up really good in the pre-market on Monday, and it was very exciting Monday morning when I got up and I saw it was up like 20 bucks. Yeah, see, here's where it closed on last Friday or so. 14. Let's see here. So Monday would have been the 18th. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, Monday was the 14th. So right in here was Monday. But we had a sell-off on it real quick, like the next day. It was a strange week for sure. Let's go back to that 5-day chart, and you can see this is the Monday. Let's see if this is Monday here. Hang on a second. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so Monday started out around 209 on the open. It did get as high as 216, but at pre-market it was up even more than that. But you can see once it got up and got going here, it did pull back and got down to, we were in the red by then, and then it did kind of make a little comeback here towards the end of the day, and then we're still in Monday here, and then we get a Tuesday and it just drops like a rock, and then it just keeps dropping this rest of this week. It did have a good day yesterday. It was up green yesterday, closed green, and then today it sold off again at 3%. So starting to settle down a little bit. The volume, you can see here, the volume was below normal today. These are high volume days, a couple of these, and so things are settling down. Actually, one thing that I did do this week, I actually bought, I was doing a little experiment. I wanted to see how it goes because this is nothing but manipulation. You can tell the shorts just piled in. I actually put in a market order for every morning after Monday, and I put in a market order for every morning in all 3 accounts that I have, just to see what those would feel at every morning. And every day, they all 3 filled at the same price, which I thought was kind of strange. And now we're talking about 2 different brokers and 3 different accounts. But every day they all filled at the same exact price, each day. And so, like for instance, the first day, I think they all 3 filled at 200 a share. And then I forget what yesterday, but it was different prices each day, but they were all the same price for all 3 accounts each day, which I thought was very strange. And it did it every day of the week, which was odd to me. So I just was doing that just for fun of it. You can do that now that you don't have to pay commissions. And so I just thought I'd try that just to see what it did. And another thing about it is kind of telling us what the status of the stock is. It has not closed above those little purchases that I did every morning. So if I bought in the morning, it closed lower than that price each time. Even on the green day, I bought on the green day, which was yesterday, I had a green day, but the price that I bought it at was higher than what it closed at. So not heading in the right direction. And that's what that tells me. So if you're planning on buying any more, I mean, I would wait till it turns, and it has not turned yet that I can tell. And it may not, because you got a good time period that we're going to be without any news probably, and that's probably going to hurt this stock with no news for a long period of time. So wouldn't surprise me if it didn't get back down to those lows that we recently saw. I hope not, but it could possibly just keep drifting lower. Um, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping people realize, that we've got a winner here, and we don't need to let it go down too far, because we don't want to start from that low when this thing jumps. But that's what I thought the other day. We thought we were doing good because we actually clawed our way back over 200, and I thought we'd get a good pop, and we did. We got one up to 229.50, I think it was. I thought it would get to 240, and that's where I was going to start selling. But anyway, it didn't do that. But I think it could go either way. We could hold steady at this 175 level or so. Um, that was some support at one time, but I just don't know if it's going to hold. We'll see. A lot of it has to do with the NASDAQ too, whether it's going to hold up or not, because it's going to follow the NASDAQ probably from here until till we get news. Now we might get some kind of surprise news in between now and then. Who knows? But it's going to be a long wait for the next month or two to see once these approvals come in. But I expect them fully, so I don't think it's going to be a problem once we get them. It's just going to take some patience, and it's going to be painful possibly to watch our stock go down while we're holding so many shares in that cash account especially. But I've got faith in it, and I'm going to hang on to them all the way through. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at with that one. And it was an exciting Monday, a disappointing week. But that happens to us sometimes, and you just have to hang in there. But you do see here, this was a downward week, all the way up from this 216 all the way to 174. You see here, so not what we wanted to see, but we're gonna just hang tough, see how it goes here. All right, now what my game plan is, we'll talk about that as far as this stock goes. As we close, we'll talk about that when we close. All right, so SPCE, let's see what we did with that in this week. And slowly but surely clawing its way back up. Let's see how we did. Yeah, it's pretty. Let's see. Monday, we were 34. It closed at 35. We closed about a couple bucks, $3 up for the week. Not bad, but it's holding up pretty good. Took a little dip here, but it's been doing decent. But we're a little bit away from being able to sell that one. Tilray is, let's see here, for the week, looks like it was a downward trend for Tilray. We don't like to see that, but it's falling back down. Nothing going on there. And Nikola's been having a decent run here lately. Down a little bit this week, but it had been clawing its way back up. So we'll just be patient with that one. Volume's about half of what it's normal on today, so not too bad. We're not too concerned. We do have a good sized stake in that one, and we did trade it once before and made some pretty good money, but we're behind on what we're holding right now. The only green one we've got right now that we're holding is this Tesla right now. We were green on NVAX for a while, but it's gone back to red, and Tesla is our green one. So, all right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to do this week. Do have some cash over on the cash account. Did move some more cash over there, so we're waiting for that NVAX to settle, and we're going to add to it. Just showing you how much confidence I do have in that one. I am loaded up on that one in the cash account, all NVAX, which is dangerous, and you don't want to do that if that's money you can't afford to lose. Not that I ever want to lose this money that I've got over there, but I've just got a lot of confidence in this NVAX that it's going to get approvals at some point. It's also got something called nano flu out there. We've got to get it out there on the market, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's the tests have all run good on it, had good results, and so we just need to start selling that one soon. And they're also trying to do a mix between that nano flu and COVID vaccines, and have a single shot there. They're working on that. Also, the news that came out Monday about Novavax, the variants, had really good responses to those variants that are out there right now. So that gives Novavax a big plus there. So again, all good news. The results were good. It was 90% effectiveness overall, I think it was. And actually, I think they mentioned something like 100% on the original strand. So there's nothing to sneeze at there, but definitely a good vaccine. And I don't think we're going to have any issues at some point making some good money with that one. It's one of my top ones this year already. Top ones for the last few years. I've been playing it a long time. So let's just hang on to that. Be patient. I'm going to add to it this week, and once I notice it settles, and then we'll be adding to it and going from there. All right. Well, have a great week in trading. We'll be on our normal schedule next week. Probably check in with you Monday after the market closes sometime, and then later on after it closes on Friday. Okay. So I hope you have a good weekend and enjoy yourself, and have a great Father's Day for all the fathers out there. And we'll check back in with you later in the week. Hey, thanks for subscribing to all the new subscribers we've gotten recently here. Got a few more. And if you have not subscribed, don't forget to click this button right over here and do that. And come join our team, and we'll just love having you on our team. All right, thanks. Have a great rest of your week.